Hi everybody, Victoria Moore from Project Grief, and as promised I'm going to be doing 5 days of grief transformation. So in this 1 week course I'm just going to be doing snapshot 10 to 15 minute videos to help you give you an idea about more about how this work works and the information that you probably need to hear, or maybe you've never heard and you actually will be the first time some of these concepts and ideas will be given to you, and each video will follow on from the next. So if you only get this on Wednesday, please scroll back and watch Monday's video and then watch Tuesday's, etc. They're only going to be short videos, so bear in mind you're not going to get full recovery, but I hope that this will give you some insights and some ideas into you and how deep this work can go and the impact it could possibly have on your life if you decide you want to take this further one day. If not, hopefully these videos will just serve you and you'll get something from it to help you realize, as I've written on the board behind me, that there's nothing wrong with you, and that whatever it is that you are going through in your life right now, or maybe you're in a good space, and it's about stuff that has happened to you before. Maybe you're not in the middle of it now, but whatever has happened to you, that it's okay to feel the way that you do. And you feel the way that you do because you've just not been shown what to do when something bad has happened to you. So the feelings that you have are not necessarily depression, they're not necessarily stress, they're not necessarily any other label that you may have been given. Anxiety, another one that you may have been given, and that maybe, just maybe, I'd like you to suspend any beliefs or ideas you already hold about those labels. Just put them to one side and wonder for a minute if maybe what you're going through is grief. It's the set of conflicting and different painful feelings that you have after anything that has happened to you, anything loss wise obviously that has happened to you. So whether that thing has happened to you in recent times over the past few months or few weeks, or whether this has happened to you in childhood, or whether this has happened to you years ago, makes absolutely no difference to the fact that grief is still happening. In other words, those feelings, those conflicting and painful feelings that you have are still happening to you. Because time doesn't heal you. So of course you're going to feel as bad as you do now about something that happened to you long ago in your past, or more recently, of course. So all of those feelings that you have, whether that is a lowered state of energy, going over and over and over things in your head consistently, feeling full of remorse and regret and if only or what ifs, or you're filled with future anxiety. Oh my gosh, what's going to happen to me? What's going to happen tomorrow? What if this happens? What if that happens? And you just get this state of anxiousness about you. And it affects how you think about the future. It affects your everyday because you find it hard to get through some days. Maybe you get physical symptoms because of the anxiety, or maybe you can't sleep. Any of those things, I'm going to suggest to you, can in fact be grief. Because grief, the symptoms of grief are all of those things. The symptoms of grief are this lowered state of anxiety, wishing things were different or better or more, wishing things hadn't have happened that has happened, worrying about tomorrow, any state that takes you out of the present moment of now, because this present moment of now is the only one that you need to live in to feel happy, to feel content, and to feel at peace. But it's virtually impossible to be in this moment of now if you have grief. So if you've gone through a loss, you're only going to be thinking about that loss or about something that's going on because you haven't worked through that loss or those losses. I've never met anybody yet that's only had one thing happen to them. I do meet people that dismiss what they've gone through. Oh, I haven't got a big story. It's not me. I know people that could be much worse off than me, is a comment that I hear frequently. And when I start to dig a little bit deeper, it's not true, and that there are plenty of things that that person has gone through, but they've dismissed them as grief or loss because they've been told, oh, it's nothing. What's happened to you is nothing. Think about the things that other people have gone through. So if this is you, what you've done is you've used the tool of comparison to make yourself belittle what you've gone through because of something that someone else has gone through. So yes, maybe you've had no massive bereavement, maybe you've had no massive something happen to you, but it doesn't have to be massive. This idea of having to be big to justify grief is not true. And this is where we all get trapped. It's not true. You can have had loss. It could be pet loss. It could be being bullied at school. It could be having an unhappy childhood because you heard your parents arguing, or one of the parents left, or one of the parents was always at work and you were always with childminders. It could be an incident that happened, an accident that happened that you haven't managed to get over, a loss of trust, a loss of safety, a loss of health. There are about 40 different types of loss issues that we can go through. Broken hopes, dreams, and expectations are another one. So people that wanted to train to be a certain thing and then couldn't because that didn't happen because they didn't get the results, or they had an injury if it's a sports career, or there's a myriad of different things that can happen. But what generally happens as a truth for everybody is we all rely on the same myths or let's put it another way, lies about grief. And we use those to try and make ourselves feel better, but they don't work. We think they work because all we do is kind of internalize and push down how bad we feel, but it's the wrong information. We've not been shown what to do. We've not been taught. We've not learned how to move beyond our heartbreak. We've just been told by using our mind, don't think about it. There's always someone else worse off than you, and just give it time. And there's about another 4, which I'll go over as well tomorrow. So we are given these lies or myths about grief as a way to try and belittle how bad we feel. Now, if you have had a big loss, and so excuse me, say you're someone that has had something traumatic and dreadful happen to them, that's what we call a tangible loss. So you've had a child die, or a husband die, or a wife die, or a parent die, or some such thing like that, or a recent divorce. You're still told not to feel the way that you do by those that care for you, not because they don't care for you, of course, but because they don't know what else to say to you. So whether you've gone through I'm going to put brackets here, a big loss or a small loss makes no difference to what people will say to you, because what society and your well-meaning friends and family are trying to say to you is not to feel the way that you do because there's someone worse off than you, because the person wouldn't want you to feel the way that you feel if they've died, because life is too short, because there are plenty more fish in the sea in the case of divorce, or because you could do much better, or they wouldn't want to see you happy, or to think about the person that died, at least they're not in pain anymore, at least they're not suffering, or at least they went quickly. I got told that by my dad. So if someone dies quickly, we're supposed to take comfort from the fact that they died quickly. If it's a pet, then go and get another one. If it's a miscarriage, you're told you can always have more children, and so on, and so on, and so on. And this information is just insane. It's literally insane. But worse than that, we make ourselves feel mad or wrong for feeling the way that we do, rather than say, it's not me, it really is the information. I've just not been told what to do. So because I can't move on whatever that means by the people that say it, because time's not making me feel better, because I don't want to go out and get another one, I should feel bad because I just can't do that. So therefore there must be something wrong with me. But it's not you. It is simply not you. You are grieving and you just haven't been shown how to move beyond the pain of where you are now, whether that was from a recent loss or a loss from a long time ago. It makes no difference. If you have pain, it hurts. And then when you suppress that pain and you try and use stuff to make yourself feel better, we can get trapped in this cycle of pain and grief and isolation and loneliness, and maybe we pop our heads out and try and get some help. No, we're still not getting help. Go back into the pit and carry on and on and on. And this loop can just happen over and over and over again. So stage one of transforming your grief is to realize that you need help, because you've probably not been given it before. You've probably not been told that you need help. You've just been told to be strong and carry on, which is nonsense. Strength comes from feeling the way that you do and trying to get the information you need to make yourself feel better. You shouldn't have to put up with how bad you feel. So let's just, for this first video, transform from where you are now by maybe, just maybe, realizing that there's something else out there for you, and that the way that you feel now is not your fault. You've had something happen, or some things happen to you, and you just haven't been told what to do. But the thing is, you can't run from this stuff. It catches up with you. It catches up with you because you can't stop loss happening. So say you've gone through all of these things that have happened, and now something else happens on top. You're not going to be just dealing with this latest thing on top. You're going to be dealing with all of it, and it's all going to land in your lap at the same time. And that's when it's very difficult to carry on, because the distractions don't work anymore. The usual things that worked for you won't work anymore, and you'll just feel worse. And then you won't even have the energy to reach out anymore, because every time you do, people tell you not to feel the way that you do. Whew, crazy or what? And it's not you, it's not me, it's not us. It's the information, it's our emotional education that is wrong. So grief is a normal reaction to all loss, as I've written on the board. Transformation day number 1. I hope I've helped. I hope you've had some aha moments, and look out for my video number 2 tomorrow. And I'll be carrying on with another 10-15 minute video on the myths of grief again, and some more interesting stuff to help you transform your grief and try and help you realize that there really is help out there. You just haven't heard it before, and it's not your fault. It really isn't. It's just that you've not been shown what to do. So if I have helped, and you don't mind reaching out to others, please put a comment in the video below, just so that I know that I've helped in some way. And if you don't, that's fine too. I just hope you tune into tomorrow's. Okay, bye now.